Hello, I'm Dr. Mercier, and this week we're profiling fathers. But not just any fathers, black fathers, and not just black fathers, but fathers who are engaged in actively participating in the lives of their children and their family. You see, the reason for this is not just because it's Father's Day, but because popular opinion would have you believe that these types of fathers, black and brown fathers, are not involved, they're not around. But we're here to dispel that myth, and I'm going to prove it to you. With me now is Petit Beau. How are you, man?
Doing good, Doug. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining me. We're good friends. We're old friends. I'm not afraid to say that.
All right.
And you're a father.
Yes, I am.
How many kids?
I have 3 and one on the way.
One on the way. Yeah. Seems a lot of dads have ones on the way these days.
Oh, yeah.
But good. Blessings, though.
Oh,
Good,
yeah.
good stuff.
Definitely.
Boys, girls, ages.
I have 2 girls and
Okay.
1 boy, and I'm hoping the one on the way is a boy.
Ooh. I'll be praying for you.
Oh, thank you. I
I'll
need
be
it.
praying for you.
Yeah.
What are their ages?
Jada, which is my oldest daughter, she's 13.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Gabriel, she's 5, the second daughter. And then Joshua's the 3rd, he's 2 years old. And I'm hoping it's a boy that's
Okay.
on the way.
And
He's
then the
due
baby.
September 1st.
September 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have some time to pray.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Good. It sounds like you've been a father for a while now.
Yes.
Okay. And you say you have a 13-year-old. I mean, you look like you're 13 yourself.
Well, I am a part of a blended family. So
Okay.
I have 3, me and my wife have 3 kids, but I don't go around saying this is my stepdaughter or my stepson. I embrace them as my own. So when
Good
you hear me
stuff.
say that, I look young, but I'm actually, a little up there. I'm not in my 20s anymore.
All right. That's
Yeah.
all right. That's good. That's good. So tell me about the blended family. It's great to acknowledge all your kids as your own, but what was that experience like?
To start off, it was a little rough transition because my oldest daughter, she's already of age. Came into her life when she was younger, but she has, which I'm glad, she does have a relationship with her biological father.
Okay.
So me coming into the picture, it's just like, okay, I'm not here to replace your dad. I'm here to come side by side with him and help raise you. So on my end, try not to overstep my boundaries, but at the same time, not treat her as a stepdaughter, but treat her as my very own. So, and then on her end, receiving me as her stepdad and not get the impression that I'm here to try to replace her dad.
And so I imagine that took some time to develop
Yeah,
that relationship.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. A lot of patience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because blended families can be interesting, and some people, some children, some biological parents, they don't help. But it sounds like you guys have that figured out.
Yeah. Me and my wife, we buckled down together, and I'm glad that with my oldest daughter, I'm able to have a cordial relationship with her dad, and we communicate, and I show him respect, and he shows me respect as well. And I just made it clear to him that, hey, I'm not here to replace you, but I am here to just stand side by side with you to help raise a young lady into a responsible woman one day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have a unique experience in being a father in that you came into a relationship, and so there was one child, but then you also had the typical experience for some where you create your own.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about when you and your wife, you guys had your biological children.
Well, I'm just glad that we were able to mesh gears together with Gabriel being my first child, and my wife, she had 2 children prior to us getting together.
Okay.
And so we were able to get that foundation straight. With the other biological parent, it's challenging at first, but within our household, that we made sure everything was straight. And with that being said, my wife is not iffy, and she's reassured that I'm not going to show more love to our child that we bring into this world together over, the children that she had prior to me, and the daughter that I had prior to her children.
Okay.
So that's clear. That area is clear, and I genuinely love all my children the same, and it makes it easier to bring a child of our own together into the world, knowing that there won't be dabs on this one over the other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And the kids, I'm assuming, see that.
Yeah, they see it.
Okay. How do you show that? How do you make that clear to not just your wife, but the children? What are some things that you've done?
One of the things I always reiterate and bring to the children's attention, like, hey, we're one. I don't want you to identify each other as this is my stepbrother or this is my stepsister. Just say that's your brother and this is your sister. And what I do for one, I do it for all.
Okay.
If I can't do it for one, I'm not going to do it.
Nobody getting nothing.
Nobody getting nothing. Because it really I try to diffuse that tension.
Okay.
This is mine, this is my dad, that's your mom, and my dad loves me more. I always nip it in the bud.
Kids will do that.
Oh yeah.
Hearing you talk about that, I imagine there are some dads who find that situation to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It can be very stressful with the different obligations and the different requirements, to the point where some fathers just can't handle it. They just kind of dip.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were feeling stressed or overwhelmed at any point, but what kept you, how are you different, I guess is the question.
And to be honest, coming into the relationship, it's, my baggage and my wife's baggage. And then, that is one of the things that was packed in the baggage. So taking on that role and responsibility as a stepfather and then a new husband to my wife, it was a little overwhelming. And how I overcame that was, of course, exercise. But number one thing I always do till this day, I feel that pressure rising. I get away and I spend some time with God.
Oh, nice.
So it's been prayer. I can't take all the credit.
Okay.
I mean, as much as I hit the gym, one of my relieving that stress and that overwhelming weight is prayer.
Nice.
So I just spend some time in prayer.
A praying father. I also have to attest to the power of prayer, but not just prayer, but a praying father.
Yeah.
So Perry, you've been a father now how many years?
In total, about 6 years.
6 years now. Okay. And one or two lessons that you've learned since becoming a father?
I got a whole lot of lessons I learned.
Well, okay, one or two.
Yeah, I'll hit one or two. Definitely, number one thing, I come to realize early, really quick, that it's not about me anymore. And every decision that I make is based on the little ones that are in my life now. So I don't just make decisions off of instinct anymore. I think about it, and because every decision, there's a consequence that comes that follows with that decision. So that's one of the lessons that I learned. Another lesson is just really taking on a responsibility, making no excuses. Because I can't come home to my child, my wife Darnisha, and my children, and say, man, Daddy was tired today. I decided to just take off early. You know what I'm saying? I just want to chill. No, even though I'm tired, I'm thinking about them. Clothes on their back, food on the table. Food is it's a necessity. So
Right.
They're always hungry.
I mean, that's like, what, 6 people in that house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are one of the top two things. Just being selfless, and also just taking on responsibility and making no excuses.
What do you hope that your children take away from you as a father?
Number one thing is establishing a personal relationship with God.
Mm.
Because all the success that they're going to come into, they're never going to be complete or happy, because money can't buy you happiness, it can't buy you health, but it can solve a lot of problems, man. It can solve a lot of problems, but there's some things money just can't buy.
Right.
So their own personal relationship with God, based off of how they see me live my life, and also just being accountable.
Okay.
Being accountable, you know, taking what's yours, owning up to it, and making no excuses. You know, we all have the same opportunity. I've heard this before, I forgot the source, but we all have 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So just using your time wisely while you're here on earth and making, you know, history.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good way to put it. If you had to say the most challenging aspect of being a dad for you, maybe something you've ultimately overcame, or maybe you still struggle, but what would you say is the most challenging piece of being a dad?
It's funny, I was talking with my wife, Darnisha. I am married.
Hey, Darnisha.
Hey, honey, this is for you. One of the challenging things, I sat there and I thought about it. It's making time to spend with my children in the midst of the busy schedule. I'm a barber stylist, an educator, and a business owner as well. So my schedule gets a little hectic. But I know one thing, like I can't buy time back. I can't redeem time that's lost.
Right.
So I changed my schedule, which it was challenging before, because I was just focused. Like as a man, as a father, you want to provide.
You're on that grind.
You grinding, man. But I felt like I was starting to get lost in the grind, and I'm coming home and my children are already in bed, and that's time I can't take back. You know?
You're saying something right there, man.
So
I can relate to that.
I had to find that balance, and I know like God will bring funds a different way. And I'm not saying, you know, drop my job and just spend time with my kids.
Right.
You won't be able to. Yeah. So finding the balance with managing my time to spend with my children, that's been a challenge, but I've been making adjustments and slowly overcoming that challenge. Tell
me about your experience growing up with your father.
See, I'm gonna go back to the time thing, because my dad, I thank God for my parents. You know, they are Haitian natives. They come from Haiti, and my dad is I don't know. You should know about how the Haitian men are in that culture.
Well, I have an idea, but tell
yeah. So I'm Haitian, but I'm born in America. So I guess I'm American Haitian American.
Yeah.
Haitian is in there. So.
Oh, it is. Ain't going nowhere.
So growing up with my dad, he has a very strong relationship with God. So very active in the church. But and then he worked very hard. I didn't have that quality time with my dad.
Okay.
He was present.
Okay.
But he was here, but not really here. He gave me everything that I need to become the man that I am today, and I'm grateful for that. But I wish he came to my games.
Okay.
I wish he would have that man-to-man talk with me. I had to have the birds and the bee talk with my mom.
Yeah.
You know?
Some men don't talk.
Yeah. And my dad, he wouldn't say I love you. You know, not that he didn't love me.
Yeah.
But it's just this macho man thing, like
the words won't come out.
No. But I've been saying to my dad as I've come into age as a young man, Dad, I love you. We fell out at one time. Yeah, it got physical, and I forget, it was something really small.
Okay.
But we went like a few years not on good terms. But I forgave him, and God restored that relationship.
Nice.
And I said, Dad, I love you. And then he'll start off this, yeah, me too. Me too.
Oh, man.
And so finally, like this year, man, say it out. I love you too. And I'm just like, wow, man, I'm 30 something. I ain't gonna give y'all my age.
That's all right.
But he finally said, I love you back, man.
Wow.
And,
So you taught him something.
yeah. It don't hurt to say I love you, man.
No.
It doesn't make you weak.
Listen, I say the same thing. And so that experience with your dad now showed you what you were missing is what you need to be giving to your kids, is what it sounds like.
I'm not big on material things. My love language is words of affirmation.
Ah,
And not hearing that from my dad, it was kind of tough.
okay.
But having come into that knowledge and then practicing it with my children, I'm like, man, I'm gonna sow that seed in my dad's life. And then now he's starting to open up and
Oh, man.
give me those words of affirmation.
Good shit, man. Good
So,
shit.
and I'm just like, yeah, okay. You didn't give it to me, I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
And then now you gotta give it back to me after a while.
The love, you give it back. It always come back.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so, new fathers, or soon to be new fathers, first time dads, if you had to give them any advice or information, what would you tell them?
It's a common thing where, as parents, we want to give our children everything that we didn't get growing up, and sometimes it falls into that materialistic area where you didn't get Jordans when you were younger, so you're going to give your kids all the Jordans.
Yeah.
And it's nice, but our children need something greater than materialistic things. Something you gotta leave an inheritance for them. So my advice to new fathers or soon-to-be fathers is the best thing you can do for your children is invest in them by giving them your time. Your time, and because the materialistic things you can see are temporary.
Yeah.
They come today and they go tomorrow.
Yeah, you're preaching to somebody.
You know what I'm saying? So if you leave with them something that is tangible, but is eternal, and you know I'm gonna go back to God.
That's all right, man.
It's God.
That's all right.
You gotta give them that relationship with God, because the hands of man will fail you. They're gonna run into disappointments. But if you teach them how to have a relationship with God from a young age, I mean even from the womb, if a child can hear your voice from the womb, you know, you can teach them from there. They recognize your voice. So that's my advice, man. Invest into your children's lives with time. Give them your time. That's the best thing you give them, is your time, because growing up, they could never say that my dad wasn't there for me.
Right.
And that's what it is, man.
Yeah, and in the end, that's what we really want.
Yeah.
It's been great talking to you, man.
Man, it's been a pleasure being here.
Feel like we can go on and on and on.
Oh yeah.
You know, thank you for agreeing to do this.
Man, it's an honor for you, Doctor.
Oh,
Jay.
thank you. I
Man,
appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here, man.
I appreciate it. I'm Dr. Mercier, and we've been talking with Petit Beau.
Yep.
See you guys next time.